Welcome back to Hub History on Entertainment Hub, where we break down the stories behind the headlines and explore the people, events, and controversies shaping our world. Today, we're taking a deep dive into one of the most polarizing and discussed cases of recent years, the story of Luigi Mangione. Who is he? What is he accused of? And why has his arrest sparked such intense debate? Let's unravel the details. Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old from Maryland, wasn't someone you'd expect to find at the center of a high-profile murder case. Raised in an upper-middle-class family, he attended elite schools and pursued a career in computer engineering, earning a reputation as a gifted data analyst. He had a clean record, a seemingly bright future, and no outward signs of violent tendencies. But on December 4, 2024, all of that changed. Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, one of the largest health insurance companies in the United States, was fatally shot outside the Hilton in Midtown Manhattan. The attack occurred in broad daylight, sending shockwaves through the business and political worlds. 5 days later, Mangione was apprehended after a nationwide manhunt and charged with Thompson's murder. Prosecutors wasted no time laying out their case. They alleged that the murder was a premeditated act of terrorism designed to instill fear in the healthcare industry. According to initial reports, Mangione harbored deep resentment towards health insurance companies, possibly linked to personal grievances or a broader ideological stance. This claim was bolstered by alleged evidence found during the investigation, including social media posts and documents suggesting he had been planning the attack for months. What sets this case apart is the legal framework being used to prosecute Mangione. Under a post-9/11 anti-terrorism law, the murder is being treated not just as a criminal act but as an act of terrorism. This approach allows prosecutors to argue that Mangione's actions were intended to intimidate or coerce not only individuals but an entire sector of the economy. If convicted under these charges, Mangione could face life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. But while the case against Mangione is being framed in stark terms, the reaction to his arrest has been anything but straightforward. Almost immediately, a disturbing phenomenon emerged. A segment of the public began lionizing him. Despite the severity of the charges, Mangione has received over 150 gifts and countless letters while in custody, with some supporters framing him as a sort of anti-corporate vigilante. This has sparked outrage among law enforcement and the families affected by the case. Officials have called the support ghoulish and a slap in the face to the victims of violence. But it also raises uncomfortable questions about the broader societal tensions surrounding the healthcare industry, corporate influence, and public trust. Mangione's incarceration has also become a flashpoint in its own right. Reports suggest he has been subjected to what his legal team describes as ill treatment while in custody. According to his attorneys, Mangione has been held in solitary confinement for extended periods, deprived of basic privileges, and subjected to psychological stress. These claims have not been independently verified, but they've added another layer of complexity to an already controversial case. Critics argue that Mangione's treatment reflects a broader issue within the justice system, particularly in high-profile cases. The use of solitary confinement, for instance, has been widely criticized by human rights organizations, who argue that it constitutes a form of psychological torture. If Mangione's legal team can prove that his treatment has violated his rights, it could become a key point in his defense, potentially impacting the trial's outcome. So, where does the case stand now? As of today, Mangione has been indicted on charges of first-degree murder as an act of terrorism, among other related offenses. His trial is expected to begin in the coming months, and it promises to be a legal battle that captures national attention. Prosecutors are likely to lean heavily on the narrative of premeditation and ideological motivation, framing Mangione as a dangerous extremist. Meanwhile, his defense team is expected to challenge the validity of the terrorism charges, arguing that the case has been overblown to make an example out of their client. But beyond the courtroom, the case is already having ripple effects. It has reignited debates about the healthcare industry, wealth inequality, and the role of corporate power in American life. United Healthcare, the company Thompson led, has long been a lightning rod for criticism, particularly over issues like denied claims, high premiums, and executive compensation. For some, this case is less about Mangione as an individual and more about the broader frustrations and inequities within the system he allegedly targeted. However, the case also highlights the dangers of glorifying acts of violence, regardless of the perceived justification. While some may see Mangione as a symbol of rebellion against corporate greed, others argue that this narrative risks normalizing or even encouraging violent behavior as a means of addressing systemic issues. It's a delicate balance, one that underscores the deep divisions in contemporary society. The media's role in shaping public perception of Mangione cannot be overstated. From the initial headlines to the ongoing coverage, every detail of his life has been scrutinized. dissected, and in some cases, sensationalized. This has led to a polarized public discourse, with some viewing Mangione as a martyr and others as a cold-blooded killer. The truth, as always, is likely more complicated. What's clear is that this case is about much more than one man or one act. It's a lens through which we can examine larger societal issues, the state of the healthcare industry, the ethics of corporate power, the criminal justice system, and even the way we consume and respond to media. Mangione's story forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about accountability, justice, and the limits of empathy. As the trial approaches, all eyes will be on the courtroom. Will Mangione be convicted as a terrorist, or will his defense succeed in painting a more nuanced picture of his actions and motivations? And how will the public continue to respond as new details emerge? One thing is certain, this case is far from over. Thank you for watching Hub History on Entertainment. Hub, if you found this deep dive insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What's your take on the Luigi Mangione case? Let us know. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.